and welcome to Savepoints, cosmic lessons I've learned about life and myself by playing video games. I'd like to welcome stealers, takers, movers and shakers and quakers and bakers and Bob. I miss you. Today, I'd like to share a lesson I learned in a game called Thief Simulator. Going in, I had no idea what this game could possibly be about. My first guess was that it was something to do with running a small despotism, using usury to maintain dominance over the desperate and disenfranchised. Either that, or the process of logging into YouTube, recording a minute of information and then diluting it into a 10 to 20 minute video nightmare replete with exhausting introduction, disinformation, and repetition of those things, begging for attention and likes all the while effectively stealing literal years of human life away in an already saturated video ecosystem. But instead it turns out it was just a VR simulation, placing me near a crate with a crowbar on it and walled in a backyard, and it was the perfect place to learn to ignore the fence. Now, for a lot of people, playing video games is about being rewarded for doing something they wanted to without social recourse, like explode something up, hunt a bad guy, or break a fence, and that's great. After a long day of productive civility, I can appreciate the opportunity to virtually perform an action that is typically forbidden. But I personally don't like being told what to do, my troll-like nature forcing me to question any and every order, even those which seem fun or aligned with adventure of some quality. Thief Simulator no different. My primary prerogative in most games is to begin by meditating, allowing the waves of reality to cascade through my person as I appreciate my surroundings, especially in a VR game when I'm surrounded by a new place with beautiful trees and power lines and intact fences. I believe that meditation is seeking your center, so one of the ways to do that is to let go and settle into where you are. My second move is to try to appreciate the game's narrative, if any, and thankfully in Thief Simulator had been written a beautiful yarn. I'll play in 4 acts, pick up the crowbar, attach the crowbar to my belt, put the crowbar back in my hand, and then break the fence. This is all part of an overarching narrative to reciprocate the Lombardi's purchase of my freedom by committing further atrocities, perpetuating a cycle of violence and financial desperation. My despotism theory not entirely debunked. Of course, this fence was as doomed as I was. If I was part of the story, then that story was about destroying that fence and nothing else. Even checking my life-affirming tablet PC left little room for interpretation. Unfortunately, many games give these non-optional dictates, often in a tutorial setting, so new players can find guidance and learn the unique language of that game. But VR is a new frontier of storytelling. Developers not obligated to enforce any such rules in these vivid environments they create, and I personally didn't mind the backyard, a safe place to find peace and meditate with my multi-featured tablet PC. It is a personal mission of mine to publicly question the arbitrary limitations in games, if only to challenge developers to open up more opportunities for fun and wider audience appeal where tunnel vision prologues set the pace for dangerously one-track gameplay. And it was difficult to feel self-actualized in my peaceful meditative park when I had this non-optional dictate bleeding into my eye. I spent 10 minutes trying to simply move through the fence, sliding around helplessly like my first and last day at curling practice, but the hitboxes were strong and I couldn't clip through the gate as I had hoped. The insistence of destruction mocking me in almost the same manner as any number of authoritative curling coaches. So I looked for an alternative. Amidst the life settings, the talent unlocks, and the very impressive weapon selection, I found the option to scale the world. The language strange, I felt that I was increasing my own size, but according to the game I was making the world smaller. Suddenly I could see over the fence that was once restricting my vision. I moved next to the fence, although I couldn't find a way to jump. I did find the method to teleport, which, although some players might find unreasonable, I personally see as a likely evolution of human movement in the future, or at least more fun than helpless sliding past the hog line and getting kicked off the team. Within seconds, the teleporter popped me through the fence to the other side, opening my opportunity for exploration. Break the fence, still an active instruction, a clear nod to the game's insistence that the goal of the whole time was to destroy, not to advance, and honestly now I love this fence. I can never hurt it, as I know it is a victim of the story as much as me. I'd crossed the threshold it protected, still a prisoner of the story, but comfortable and free to move about in the new world as I liked. It's not that I don't respect the Lombardis, I just believe we should be weary of following insidious instructions and instead stay focused on what the most kind and positive actions we can take in any moment, every second of every day, and to ignore the fence. As a despot, YouTuber, or simulated thief. My name is Gold Vision. I use the crowbar and the settings tablet, and I hope you enjoyed this. So how about those skill points?